Welcome to Cody in the Cinema. Today I'm discussing one of the great films from one of the great film movements from one of the countries that has produced one great film after another. This is DeSica's Shoeshine. Shoeshine is from 1946. I loved this movie. And if you followed my channel before, I talk about Italian neorealism on here quite a bit. I love My Voyage to Italy and Scorsese and how that influenced him. And I am just, this is a motion picture. One of my favorite releases of the year, I think right up there for me with Winchester 73 and The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. It is just plain awesome, meticulously crafted, heartbreaking, beautiful, touching cinema. If you have not heard of this, or if you have not seen this, this was one of, the back of the Criterion cover says it was an international breakthrough for neorealism. Apparently it was Academy Award winning. And if you open up the case, you'll see a picture of these two boys on a horse. And that horse becomes a great image, great metaphor throughout the film. And a lot of the plot kind of revolves around this horse. So this is a film that has a lot of plot to it. And without spoiling anything, these two boys are involved in some illegal activities. They are working with a fence and stolen goods, things of that nature, in post-war Italy, right? And they're trying to get this horse that you see there. You steal money, you get money to buy you steal goods, you get money to buy a horse. And that horse shows up throughout the film in different places. But a large part of the film takes place when they are in prison. These two boys are in prison, involved in something with this horse, something with the robbery. And it is an absolutely devastating indictment on any kind of social issue you can imagine that revolves around poverty. There's a line in here that I think just puts the entire film into perspective. Someone working in the prison, one of the guards or whoever, he says, unfortunately, this poverty is driving everyone mad. And he says it kind of like the brisket was a little dry. It's inconvenient that they have to, these people working in this prison have to deal with so many prisoners. However, this is not a film that really, it's so almost documentary in a way. The neorealism is known for having these non-professional actors who, DeSica was so good at getting so much out of their performance, especially these two young boys, that it's like you see their regular life and all the social issues are you're kind of learning. It's more showing than telling. And I really thought a lot whenever I was watching the picture. I thought a lot about Once Upon a Time in America, which surely this film is there's so much in common with pieces of this film and this film. Because Once Upon a Time in America, if you haven't seen it, there's some childhood gangster stuff going on as well, and it's a little bit different of a plot, obviously, where it goes, but there are even parts of the music that I thought maybe Ennio Morricone was playing on in this film, which is one of the best films ever made, Once Upon a Time in America. There's a scene when these kids are getting, sent away in the prison car. There's a scene that kind of reminds me a little bit of what's going on with Once Upon a Time in America. But there's this girl who watches the car, and as it drives away, it's so heartbreaking. Such a powerful, simple image. When these kids are in prison, there's multi layers. There's these 3 layers of the prison. And I kind of think, I used to watch Walking Dead a lot, so I think of when the characters were in the prison and you saw this 3, the way it was shot, it almost looks more like a tower, or like a castle wall or something. It's imposing, and then when these kids are walking up and down, or guards are, or whatever, the camera is so light and free, and it's meticulously edited. The editing in this, it does have a Scorsese kind of feeling. I mean, Shoeshine. Got your shine box, Goodfellas, right? What's the title even about? Shoeshine. These boys are also shoeshiners before they go to prison. it's like the shoe shine is almost like second to a lot of the other stuff in the film. But when they are actually, the few scenes you get of them actually shoe shining, it puts into perspective, I think, in some ways, wealth inequality, right? There's quite a bit of that. In fact, there's a courtroom scene where you get to, some of the kids are free and they're not they're not part of this courtroom battle and they're not in jail or whatever. And they get to see these beautiful shots of the city and the architecture. But the kids in prison are there largely because they're poor and they didn't have great choices to make to begin with. And the prison conditions and so forth, like, it's rough. Like, the way that the food is talked about, there's a scene where they make them shower and they almost treat them like animals, but it's never so sullen that it feels, oversold. It's just perfect. Like, it's this perfect line that Jessica could walk. And those of you that have seen Bicycle Thieves and really like that picture as well, you'll see a lot of similarities. Actually, this might be a film heresy. They're both 5-star films for me, but I actually even like this even better than Bicycle Thieves. Just because, I don't know, the dialogue was so snappy. It had that Goodfellas kind of a quality to it. It's funny at times, very entertaining. And it can be kind of dramatic for a neorealism film. There's a lot of like prison politics, even amongst these kids, and like, do I rat out somebody? Do I hold the truth in? If I don't rat out somebody, will somebody I know get hurt? Like, there's so much positioning and that kind of thing here. Unlike Goodfellas, where nice guys have it made, or wise guys, not nice guys, wise guys have it made. It's a truly terrible place to be. There's a great scene in here where some of the child inmates in this prison are finally getting to watch a movie. And there's a fire, and like the fire and the lighting and the flickering of the lights, it's like kind of as a Sunset Boulevard sort of feeling. You imagine that picture when William Holden and Gloria Swanson are watching her films, right? It's a powerful use of the lighting, and boy, is this a good movie. The ending to this combines elements of all the things that the movie sets everything up. And the way it ends, it's a little dramatic, but it's so believable. And I love movies that you can kind of see how they were put through the editing room, and like the writers really wanted to make sure that all their bases were covered. And it's just a cleanly made movie. There's all the loose ends are tied in the right way. It's a really impressively sort of developed piece of cinema, and it's just tragic. Like, I think Shoeshine is one of those movies that I could see myself watching upwards of 5, 6, 7 times. Like, it's that good to me. And like I said, it's one of my favorite releases of the year. More than anything else, though, besides the social issues and just, child imprisonment is the awfulness that is, there is something a little bit more even universal about the film for anybody, and that is the ability of the human being to improvise, to adapt, to find ways to make life out of nothing. And that is a great joy in the film. I mean, these kids will find ways to make social connections in a very small jail cell. And by the way, if you like Bresson's film, A Man Escaped, you're going to like the bars and the cell part of it and that filming. But it's interesting to watch how they kind of make do with the food and the resources that they have and so forth. But I'm telling you, this has got it all. Like, sometimes you'll watch an older Italian film and you will feel that age a little bit. I did not hear it all. Like, this is, I mean, maybe like the fight scenes aren't going to have that like perfect, Born Identity choreography or whatever, but it's really, really good. Oh, I love this film. I love Italian neorealism. I love cinema. I love movies. And like, this is, sometimes you find a film that, I watch a lot of films, right? And they're great and they're awesome. But then some are like especially in your genre and especially made for you. And this is one of those. So I as much as I thought I was going to enjoy it, I enjoyed it even more than I thought I would. But yeah, like, maybe you wouldn't love it if you're not into Italian neorealism. But I think like most people that are looking in this collection, they're going to really enjoy this if they haven't seen it. So I would recommend, though, just to kind of harp on this a little bit more, do watch Once Upon a Time in America. I think it would be a good double feature with Shoeshine. If you haven't seen this, this is awesome. I have 2 copies. This is my DVD copy that's beat up. And I've got another one, a Blu-ray I haven't actually watched. So I get to watch that on Blu-ray. But, and you have to let me know if you find any similarities. But those are my thoughts. Buy it. If you're already collecting in the Criterion collection, it's an absolute must-have. Let me know your thoughts on this film if you have it. Bicycle Thieves too. If you have any thoughts there, because I haven't seen Bicycle Thieves in about maybe 6 years now. So maybe I do need to go back and see it again. And then if you can click the thumbs up button for me, I'd appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't, because I cover all this kinds of just Criterion content here on Cody in the Cinema.